It was March 2014. Kaio, then 17, had been spending most of his nights browsing Omegle, that random video chat site where strangers from around the world connect out of boredom or curiosity. He was used to short chats, weird people, and even the occasional creepy interaction. But nothing could have prepared him for what happened at 2:37 a.m. on a Tuesday. That was the night he met the girl in the dark room. Her camera was on, but barely anything was visible. Just the soft outline of a pale face, dimly lit by a faint blue glow from a computer monitor. The image was grainy. The girl looked around, 10 years old. She sat completely still, staring straight at the screen with sunken eyes. Kaio typed in his usual casual tone, "Hey, all good?" No response. He waited. Tried again. "Why are you ignoring me?" Still nothing. He was about to hit next when the girl finally moved, slowly like she was waking up from a trance. She tilted her head slightly, a small movement, yet deeply unsettling. Then, without moving her lips, a message appeared on the chat. "Can you actually see me?" Kaio hesitated before replying. "Yeah, I can see you. Why?" She didn't answer right away. After about a minute, she typed, "I don't think he's going to like that." A chill ran down Kaio's spine. He laughed nervously, assuming it was some kind of prank. An adult pretending to be a child, a pre-recorded video, deepfake. He'd seen it all. Still, something about this girl felt different, too real. He tried to dig deeper. "Who's he?" Silence. Then she typed, "If he comes, don't answer. Pretend you didn't see me." Kaio smirked, half amused, half spooked. "This is creepy, LOL. Is this a game?" That's when the screen went pitch black. Not a disconnect. The webcam was still active. The girl had just vanished. In that moment of darkness, he heard a whisper, low, grainy, words dragging in and out of static. He couldn't make them out, but he felt them. Then, the image returned. The girl was back, sitting in the same position. But now, she was crying. Silent tears ran down her face, and behind her, something was moving. The shape didn't have a defined form. It drifted behind the girl like smoke trying to take shape. Still thinking it was all part of some elaborate act, Kaio typed, "Who's that behind you?" The girl didn't answer. She looked slightly to the side, as if aware he could see what was going on, but without turning her head. Then she reached out and turned off the monitor. The camera remained on. The screen was now almost pitch black. There were only faint outlines. The webcam's infrared doing its best to capture the scene. Even with the minimal light, he could see it. Two silhouettes. The girl and something else, much taller. This second figure moved in a jerky, unnatural way, like someone trying to walk through a lagging video stream, flickering and distorted, a corrupted signal in real life. Then the chat lit up again. "He's watching you now." Kaio slammed his laptop shut, yanked out the power cable, heart pounding. He tried to calm himself, to think logically. Someone hacked my webcam, that's it. A hacker? A troll, he thought. But when he looked at the laptop, he remembered something chilling. The webcam had been covered with black tape, always had been, except last night. He had forgotten to recover it. The next day was a blur. At school he barely spoke, didn't tell anyone. But when he got home, his curiosity won. He reopened the laptop and launched Omegle. The camera connected. A new user appeared, and what Kaio saw made his blood run cold. It was a video of him sleeping. Filmed from the side of the bed, it showed Kaio tossing and turning like he was in the middle of a nightmare. The footage was grainy, but unmistakable. Same blue pillow, same shirt, same exact room. In the bottom corner, the timestamp read 2:59 a.m. He stared at the screen, frozen. The video had been shared through the Omegle chat, a temporary link. As soon as he refreshed the page, it was gone. A new user connected. Their camera was off, black screen, and one message. "You weren't supposed to see me either." Kaio unplugged the laptop again, but deep down he knew whatever this wasn't about the internet anymore. Still, he tried everything. Changed computers, covered every lens, deleted accounts, ran antivirus scans. Nothing brought peace. The following evening, something new happened. When he got home from school, he found an envelope placed neatly against his bedroom door. No stamp, no writing. Inside was a single sheet of paper. The handwriting was messy, almost like that of a child, or someone with shaking hands. It read, "She won't be able to talk to anyone else now, only you. You saw her. Now she's stuck to you." That night he gave in. He turned the laptop back on, aimed his phone camera at the screen to record everything, and reconnected to Omegle. The feed loaded. Silence. Then, the girl. She looked even thinner, her eyes darker, like they were being pulled inward. She was sitting the same way, still, empty. But now, her mouth was sewn shut, thick black threads ran through her lips. And yet, she still typed. He went into my mum's room. She never came out. "He's near your door now." Kaio turned, heart racing. His bedroom door was locked. No sound. No one there. Then, 3 taps. Quiet, deliberate, from the hallway. He screamed, ran out of the room, calling for his parents. They thought it was a panic attack. Said he needed to stop watching scary stuff online. He showed them the video he had just recorded. All it showed was a dark screen. No girl, no messages, no sound. That night, he slept on the living room couch. But at 3:11 a.m., his phone buzzed with a notification. Omegle, new connection found. The message said, "Kaio, don't sleep with your back to the door. He hates that." Kaio abandoned Omegle for good. Blocked the site, threw out the laptop, switched phones. Covered every camera lens in the house. It didn't matter. The next few days were filled with glitches. Not in the internet, but in reality. His photos started showing strange things. Blurs, shadows. In one selfie with his best friend Andre, a pair of long, thin hands could be seen gripping the edge of Kaio's bed. They hadn't noticed at the time. Worse, his dreams began to repeat. Same pattern. He'd wake up in his room, door cracked open, light from the hallway, and the sound, a girl crying. He'd find her crouched at the foot of the bed, the girl from Omegle, same sewn mouth, same broken eyes. When he'd kneel to look closer, her head would turn too far, backwards, and behind her, that shape, that thing, would emerge, a silhouette, twitching, unformed. In the last few nights, the dream changed. He wasn't in his room anymore. He was in hers, empty, cracked bed frame, scratch marks on the walls, the same blue flicker from the monitor, a message scrawled on the wall in black. "You saw her. Now you're the door." On April 13th at 3:13 a.m., Kaio broke. He logged into a mail one last time. The camera connected. This time, the feed showed her room, but empty. Just the flickering monitor. Then, the monitor in the video turned, slowly, and showed him Kaio, sitting in real time, but from behind, as if someone was filming him from inside the room. And then, from the side of the frame, she appeared, standing beside him, the girl. She typed, "You're enough for him now, thank you." The screen went black, the power in his house cut, and the next morning, on his computer's desktop, a new folder appeared. Inside it, a single TXT file. You'll never see light the same way again. Since then, no camera he owns works. Every one of them shows the same error, device busy, and sometimes, in reflections in screens in glass, he swears he sees a face, or a pair of eyes, watching. Marissa was an ordinary 16-year-old girl living in Flagstaff, Arizona, on a quiet suburban street. She didn't have many friends, but she loved chatting online, especially on Omegle. That feeling of randomness and anonymity made her feel less alone. It was a rainy Friday in April. Her parents had left town to visit relatives in Colorado, and Marissa stayed home alone with pizza, blankets, and a spotty Wi-Fi connection. At exactly 11:57 p.m., she opened Omegle on her laptop. The usual screen popped up. "You're now chatting with a random stranger. Say hi." The first few chats were typical. Bored people, a few creeps, one or two trying to flirt. But at 12:12 a.m., the screen changed. Someone's camera turned on. It showed a dark room, only a faint yellow light from behind the camera. The image was grainy and low resolution. The stranger wore a hoodie, head down, face hidden. Marissa typed, "Hello?" Silence. After about 20 seconds, a message appeared. "You answered. I'm glad." She replied, "Glad about what?" The stranger responded, "You'll help me stay here longer." She laughed nervously. Just another creepy prank, right? But the chat wouldn't disconnect. Even when she clicked next or tried to close the tab, the site stayed frozen on that screen. The exit button was disabled. Then a new message appeared. "Don't hang up. It only resets if you do." Marissa slammed the browser shut, but the notification sound from the chat kept going, even with everything closed. She restarted her computer. As soon as it rebooted, a tab opened by itself, back to the same Omegle screen, same person, same yellow light. But now, something else. A shape behind him. It looked like a figure, a shadow standing far in the back, tall, slouched. She typed, scared, "Where are you?" The stranger answered with something that made her freeze. "I'm at your house, but not for you." Terrified, Marissa ran through the house, checking every window and door. All were locked. But as she passed the bathroom, something on the mirror caught her eye. A word had been written in the fog, even though no one had used the shower. "Hello." She wiped it away with her shaking hand. She thought about calling her parents, but her phone was completely dead and wouldn't turn on. When she returned to her room, the laptop had restarted itself. On the screen, the Omegle chat was still open, but the person was no longer on camera. Now the stream showed a street, her street, same sidewalk, same flickering streetlights. The image was shaky, as if filmed from a moving car. She typed, "What the hell do you want?" The reply was instant. "Not you, the one upstairs." Marissa's blood ran cold. Her house was a one-story home, or at least she had always thought so. She decided to run to her neighbor's house, Mrs. Laney. But when she opened the front door, everything was darker than usual. None of the streetlights were on. Silence filled the air. Then the landline, which hadn't rung in years, started ringing. Once, twice, 3 times. She picked it up. No one spoke, but then she heard her own voice whisper back, "You let him in." Marissa locked herself in her room until sunrise. The computer finally shut down. Her phone came back to life. She swore to never touch Omegle again. Days went by. Her parents returned. She told them everything, but they just laughed it off, calling it a digital nightmare. But the nightmares got worse. Every night at 12:12 a.m., her phone would vibrate. A browser tab would open by itself. Always the same Omegle link. If she clicked, it was him. Sometimes it was the hooded figure. Other times, it was her, sleeping. Once, she saw herself sitting on her bed, staring into the screen, eyes pitch black. Other nights, the screen would show distorted faces staring into the camera. No background, no blinking, just frozen, twisted expressions, unnamed, unhuman. She got a new phone, new laptop, even moved to a different house. Still, the chat would return. On her 17th birthday, a small envelope slid under her door. Inside was one sheet of paper. It resets every year. You're next. Marissa is now 23 years old. She lives in another state. Changed her name. She's never touched Omegle or any video chat site since. But the messages still come. Always on April 12th. Always at 12:12 a.m. Last week she received a video by email. No sender, no subject. She opened it. It was a recording from her own webcam. She was sleeping. But the laptop had been closed. In the video, a dark shape approached her bed. The lamp flickered. The camera shook. The hooded figure leaned in, looking straight at her. And just before the video cut out, he whispered, "Call me again." She deleted the video, wiped her hard drive. But this morning, when she stepped into her bathroom, the mirror was fogged up, written in the steam, "Hello."